Peyton, thank you. Salt water has infiltrated the water system in Plaquemines Parish, forcing some residents to use bottled water until the problem is resolved. Officials say the cause is the salt wedge moving up the Gulf of Mexico due to extremely low water levels in the Mississippi River. Parish President Kirk Lepine is joining us to explain more on this situation. Kirk, thank you for being with us. And first, you didn't win re-election on Tuesday. Instead, Keith Hinckley and Benny Roussel will battle in a runoff on December 10th. We usually talk to you during the worst times, storm coverage. You've always been so knowledgeable, transparent, and professional, and we really appreciate that. I wanted to give you just a minute to get some insight on what you think went wrong.
Oh, good morning, Leslie. It's good to hear from you guys too. And you know, we weren't successful, but good luck to both of those candidates who will move Plaquemines forward. So I have faith in both of those guys. But I'll give you kind of a quick update. We do have the osmosis machine in Boothville at our water treatment plant that filters out the salt water. Because of the river being so low and particles in the river, we had to get a microfiltration unit to filter the water to go into the osmosis machine. So that is now hooked up. We should be processing water as of yesterday. I'm trying to get an update this morning of where we're at. And once we do that, we'll be able to pump good, clean water from Boothville all the way up to the Empire Bridge. But we also have a East Point Lahash water system that we're all getting an osmosis machine put in today over there.
I know there's some plans to build a massive sediment and freshwater diversion that could possibly solve the problem down the line, but there's been a lot of opposition to that. Why?
Well, there's a couple oppositions. You know, we're against that because of the water that it would put in our estuaries and really hurt our seafood industry. But the process of when that is always open, it's usually during high river. So if it was low river right now, it wouldn't be open. So it would be actually kind of hurting us if it is. So there's some pros and cons with it, but we don't think it's going to work effectively that we need how it needs to be.
Okay, and let's go back to the beginning. A saltwater wedge moving up the Mississippi River. A lot of us can't even picture that. So just explain exactly what it is in more detail for us.
The river has dropped low, and that's the CFS that pushes the water down the area. So when the Mississippi drops and the pressure drops, it allows the Gulf of Mexico to move north. That's salt water coming from the Gulf of Mexico. So when we say saltwater intrusion, there is basically a saltwater wedge that's on the bottom of the Mississippi River. Because of the pressure that the Mississippi can't push down, it comes underneath. So the Corps did build what they call a sill at mile marker 65.6 in Myrtle Grove, and it's at negative 55 right now. It can go to a negative 45 if they see the wedge getting bigger. Right now on the conference call, yesterday we were on a conference call every Wednesday at 9 a.m. They're pretty comfortable that the wedge is butting up against that sill, and very little is going over that sill to infiltrate, which would be our Bell Chase area water system, which is, and that brings in 6 million gallons and feeds all of our area.
Okay, so right now, tell us quickly, who cannot drink the water, what areas, and I know you do have ongoing water distribution for those who need it.
Yes, from the Boothville area all the way to the Empire Bridge, those levels are pretty high in their salt content. But once we get this microfiltration system up and running, we feel very comfortable that the water will come down to the levels that it will be drinkable. It's not a boil water ban. It's just it has a bad taste. It has salt content in it.
Okay, Kirk, thank you so very much for your time over the years. We really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know we haven't seen the last of you.
And no, you haven't. Thank you, guys.
All right. And